first time on ecstasy and you made an asshole out of yourself in front of the whole school? Come on, Stork, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Well, yes, that is what happened. And I guarantee you, it is 100 times worse than whatever you have in your brain right now. So just kick back and relax. And this will be a quick one that I can get to you guys that, man, it's just super embarrassing. I'm more embarrassed of this than what I got kicked out of school for, okay? So before I get started, I just have to always acknowledge my followers, subscribers, like new and returning. I appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without you guys, and I mean that every time. I'm not one of these people that have like a little catchphrase they say before they do stuff or whatever. Like, I mean that shit. So, anyways, thank you. If you could subscribe to the channel. I saw on a page that people are sharing some of my videos. I never expected that. That was pretty cool to see. So, anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. So, this takes place all the way back or it was my freshman year of high school. So, like 2008, 2009, 2008 for sure. Maybe even 07 to 08, shit. So, anyways, I had an English class with a homie that I went to middle school with named Jeremy. And that fool was my boy. Like, he was the first dude that I smoked weed with in like 7th grade. And like, he was just like the homie. He's the guy who my skateboard got shot out. It's in my videos if you scroll down of how I fell into the game or something like that. He's the guy that shoots my skateboard into the sewer on accident. So he's definitely like somebody that was like a good ass homie of mine. Like, I would go over to his pad before school and we would smoke and everything. So one day we're talking and I don't know how it comes up, but we just start talking about like rolling. Like, we listened to a lot of like Mac Dre and a lot of like Chopped and Screwed. Man, like that fool put me on to Chopped and Screwed music in like middle school, like straight up. And so there was even a time where me and him were in class listening to music, and like he like took his headphone out and put it in my ear, and it was the same song I was listening to, and it was at the same point of Notorious Thugs Chopped and Screwed by Bone Thugs and Harmony. So it was pretty crazy. Anyways, we start talking about it, and literally it comes down to, I say, well, I'm not scared to do it. And he goes, well, I'm not scared to do it. And then right there, the plan was formulated. So we both had to, you would think that we would both try to like get ours together or something like that, you know, but like, I don't know. I went through my connections and he went through his connections. I ended up with a red Spider-Man. And this was before like Pokeballs and like all that shit. Like, this is very like primitive to that, I think. I'm fairly positive. So we would always smoke at Jeremy's house because his dad worked like a lot. So like his dad would be gone in the morning, so we could smoke before school, and then after school we'd go over to his house, and then we would just smoke. I got a couple good stories from his house for sure. Um, so I might even put one up today actually. So we decide, we're like, all right, like we get our pills, and then we just decide it's on a Thursday. That's very, very important to remember that this took place on a Thursday evening. Okay, so Thursday comes, like it happens, you know, we both get our pills, and we go over to his house, and like, you know, normally a lot of people were trying to go over there because they knew that it was kind of just like the spot you could kick it at or whatever, but it was just me and him, and we would always just be like listening to music and like, you know, shit like that, you know, like this is like the days when like everybody had a sidekick and shit. Like it's just like, throwing it way back. So um, we're at his pad and we're chilling, like obviously we have weed and stuff, so we take our pills. And we take our pills and we're just like kind of chilling. We're sitting on the he had a little like futon type thing like in his living room that was his couch, but it also like went down into like a bed or whatever. So like we're sitting on that, and I can specifically remember it was a time when the Lakers were in like some sort of like championship series with the Celtics. That's all I can remember. Because we had that on, but I didn't care about it at all. So, like, we're waiting, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, I don't know about him, but, like, my pill kicked in. And for me, like, I don't know if it was the kind of pill I got or whatever, but I was not, like, clenching my jaw or, like, any type of, like, thing that you would think would come from, like, rolling or whatever, with, like that. Like it wasn't like that at all. Like for me, I felt so relaxed. I felt super calm, and just like just taking in a breath felt good. Like just breathing. Like I don't know. Like if my pill was laced with like heroin or some shit, like it definitely was not like a tweaky type pill that was gonna keep you up all night or whatever. I slept like a baby. So like my pill starts hitting me and stuff, and his does too, and we're just like chilling, like kind of like just talking about like, damn man, like this feels good, blah blah blah. And then my dumbass, like, oh man, so embarrassed of this. My dumbass takes out, this is actually the phone that I was using. This phone is what I was using. And I went and I took out my phone and I went to my contacts, and I literally went to the very first person who was like a whatever, and I would call that person to tell them how much I loved them. Like like really. I would call them and just tell them like, yo, I love you, man. Like, and then when that phone call would be done, I'd call the next person underneath them, a whatever, the next closest thing to the top. And then I'd get to the B's, and then I'd get to the C's. And like sometimes when I would call people, I was calling people that like I had known since like 6th grade, that like I didn't grow up with any of these people. You have to remember that. So it's a little different, I guess, for me. Like instead of someone who like went to elementary school and knew him for a bunch of time, maybe had a crush on him or something. Like I don't know. I said a couple things to a couple girls about like maybe like how I like thought they were like beautiful or something like that. Like it wasn't anything disrespectful, but just the fact like not only did I like, so I call everyone in my phone, or I don't call everyone, and you want to know why I don't call everyone? Because my phone dies because I was calling so many fucking people. I can't even imagine what it was like for my homie sitting next to me on the futon. Then I'm just calling everybody, just calling everybody. Like he was probably laughing his ass off or something. I really don't know. But um, so like my phone dies, and like a couple people like told me like they tried to kind of like tell me like, yeah, like just don't be like doing that shit all the time, like blah blah blah. Like some people would try to like talk to me about it, and like, but most people they would just laugh and whatever. But like it was definitely like more embarrassing on like the female aspect of it for sure, because like I didn't even remember, like, and so remember I said this was on a Thursday, so what comes after Thursday? Friday. And it was not a 3-day weekend. It was not anything like that. So my happy ass had to show up to school the next day, and I had to face like 90% of the people that I called. I mean, luckily in my phone I have people from different like schools and areas and shit. So it wasn't 100% people from my school, but like literally at 75% at least were people that like I went to school with and that were like in the school I was at before this was before I got expelled. So Yeah. So I show up the next day, and there's a rally going on, and I can just remember I think I was still feeling something or whatever, because I was sitting on the ground, and like the speaker, like I could feel like the bass of the speaker when someone was talking and stuff. And then of course, like all the like seniors, because I was friends with the seniors and stuff, I had more friends that were seniors than my brother, who was a senior when I was a freshman. So like I start seeing all these people. They keep coming up to me and being like, "You had a good one last night, huh?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" Like I didn't even remember. And they were like, "You don't remember?" I'm like, "Not really." And they're like, "Dude, you called me and you like were just telling me how much you appreciated me and how much you loved me and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh no." And then like that kept happening throughout the day, and like it was kind of like, whatever. But then when it came to like the females, like they acted weird around me, and I don't blame them at all. I don't blame them for a fucking second. Like that shit was weird. It was hella embarrassing. Like I really, it is what it is. It happened. But like I just remember like it was so awkward. So awkward. And you're talking to the guy that got caught having sex at school by a teacher who hated him like mid session. You know what I'm saying? This was more embarrassing to me than that. Okay? Having to face these people, and like I was just like, whatever I said, I'm sorry. I was not in my frame of mind. Like, I'm sorry. And for the most part, like, I don't know, I was in ninth grade, so I think people kind of got it that I was young and it was my first time trying it and whatever. But still, that doesn't make me feel any less stupid for doing that shit. So if my phone had been fully charged, I would have kept calling people. Straight up. Like, without a doubt. I would have kept calling people until I got all the way down to the Z's. And then I don't know what I would have done after that. So, shout out to Samsung for making a phone that dies quickly. Because without that, I would have had twice the amount of embarrassment to deal with. So, anyways, that was my first time on ecstasy, and how I made a fucking fool out of myself, and I had to face it the very next day. Like if I had done it on a Friday and there had been like a couple of days to go apart or whatever, I would have felt a little bit better. Still not great, but I would have felt a little better. But having to show up the very next day, I was just kind of like, damn. And yeah, like the day just progressively got more and more and more cringe, where I was just like, oh, I want to leave so fucking bad right now. Like, so, anyways, that's my story. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you once again for coming to my channel. I can't express enough how much it means to me. And, if you're not subscribed, you know, if you feel like it, click that button, man. I got plenty of stuff. You can scroll down my stuff. I got stories, series, whatever. Like, I'll comment back and all that stuff. So, it's you guys that are like the fuel that keeps me going. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So, thank you for being there. And I hope you guys have a nice day. Shit.